I haven't seen many of Michelle Pfeiffer movies actually.
भाई है कौन? नाम ही नहीं सुना कभी.
A famous Hollywood actress.
Oh, Dangerous Minds.
I thought कोई actor
I've
है.
heard of this. Yeah, she's an
It's
actress.
not gotten that great reviews, but I'm guessing it's a good movie.
The subject matter is very interesting.
Very good, no?
Michelle Pfeiffer. The only thing I know her from is being Catwoman in Batman, the old one. But I know she's a very famous actress.
Oh, wait. Was I
But-
just singing Where the Hood At? And the recording
Yes,
had already started.
in the recording.
Son of a-
I'm going to keep that in, Kevin. I'm going to
Screw
keep that
you,
in. You're
Akash.
remembering DMX.
I mean,
You know,
DMX
you-
might
Copyright
be
मिलेगा
You have
हमको.
very high
Copyright.
तुम्हें अपने ऑडियंस से बहुत हाई होप्स हैं. ऑडियंस छोड़ो, तुम्हारा एक जो मुझे ही नहीं पता तो केविन क्या गा रहा था, किसका गाना था. I did not even realize anything.
Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at? After that, I don't know.
अपने जितने भी
बेचारा
लिमिटेड यूजर वो भी
DMX
चले
might
जाएंगे
be-
केविन.
Bichara DMX might
Huh?
be like abusing me from the grave.
No, even we
Anyway,
forget about DMX.
forget about the grave as well.
Yeah.
We're just abusing you. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. This banter area, normal banter, has been very poor right now. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Vele Podcast. As usual, I am your host,
Akash, this is
Akash,
very
and
poor
I am
content.
joined by... Yes, I am joined by my friends Kevin, Arnav, and Amrit.
You didn't
This is-
wait till I said
Ah,
hi. I couldn't say hi.
Abul.
Hi.
Thank you, Kevin. Asshole.
No wonder अपने कोई ऑडियंस नहीं है अपने पास.
That's right. They must hear this rubbish and say like, "Kya bakwas sun rahe ho?" So this is the podcast where four friends gather around to talk about a variety of topics. And we've got a good amount of topics for this episode, especially a lot of movie talk to come as we started it. But first, I want to delve into the lockdowns that are happening around India specifically. I want to ask my two friends who are currently in India how they are coping with some of these lockdown scenarios as well, and how it is in the country in general. So, Kevin, Amrit, how is it so far being in India? How is the situation?
I think I am specifically not affected by it directly, even though matlab, yes, COVID. I've recovered from COVID and everything, but I feel there are people.
I was
like
about
who
to
are-
say कि Kevin, you just got COVID too, correct?
Yeah,
And
I was
you're
gonna
directly
say as well.
impacted
No,
by it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Kevin had
by-
COVID for our audience members if they didn't know, and he's
I
recovered.
mean,
actually.
by luck factor, whatever it is, I think I did not. I'm glad that I was not a liability to the system or anything. I managed at home, and luckily, the infection wasn't bad, or I don't know what the scale factors, but it was manageable for me. But like, I guess because I didn't have preconditions, so it wasn't. Luckily, it wasn't that serious. But I think one of the best things. Actually, I wanted to point this out, and as I was going to point out at my workplace also, because before all these lockdowns and all happened, me and like this another guy, both of us had COVID, but we both were the only ones who used to wear masks. So one day before COVID, one day before we got tested with COVID, and before the symptoms started, we were wearing masks. And on the day when the symptoms started, also, unfortunately, I was at work that day. But luckily, I had my mask on, so not a single person. The whole factory was tested, and not a single person was tested with COVID. So again, just tells the importance of masks, guys. Like, you are not just protecting yourself, you're actually protecting others. So you're doing noble work. So make sure you wear the goddamn mask. And that is one thing I wanted to point out. But yeah, I think the situation with lack of vaccines and lack of oxygen, Akash, is very worrying. For example, my parents' second dose appointment has been cancelled, and they are 60 plus, and there are a lot of 65 plus and people who are about to hit that 56 days ka limit between dosage, but their appointment has been cancelled. So that is very worrying. Luckily, my parents are still on 30 days. They've only finished 30 days. So hopefully we'll get that sorted out. but there are some worries related to that now.
Is there a lockdown actually in where you're staying, Kevin? Or like
Yeah,
in
there is
Delhi, I
a
know they've
lockdown.
extended the lockdown by another week, I
Most
think.
likely
They were
Rajasthan is
saying.
also going to extend lockdown, and I'm currently in Jaipur, so we already had 1 week lockdown. Now it's most likely going to get extended until 2 week lockdown, and it's going to get extended by 2 more weeks most likely. But the regulations and what the restrictions are going to be released tomorrow most likely, and it's supposed to be more strict. So I guess I'm going to be working from home longer now.
And Amrit, how has it been in in Kerala?
भाई if you're in Kerala, lockdown का जो second implementation आया है उसमें it's pretty much like after the first week of last year. So this time all home delivery and everything is there. People know basic protocol कैसे follow करना है. Biggest issue तो यार यहाँ पे आया है obviously because ये जो vaccine centers है उनके around huge crowds have formed and वहाँ पे थोड़ी दिक्कतें आई है लोगों को. Apart from that, लॉकडाउन का ज्यादा कोई स्पेसिफिक इफेक्ट नहीं है. वी आर ऑक्सीजन सरप्लस स्टेट, तो अभी तक हेल्थ केयर हैज नॉट बीन स्ट्रेस्ड. बट द पॉइंट ऑफ दैट इज इवन इफ यू आर एन ऑक्सीजन सरप्लस स्टेट, देयर इज नो वन. इफ अ लार्ज इवन 5 to 10% of the population requires hospitalization, it will become impossible because उतने हॉस्पिटल्स है ही नहीं यहाँ पे.
Correct. I mean,
So the
luckily, I
thing-
think Kerala has been investing into healthcare for a very long time. So
No, and
I
last year,
think-
very specifically after last year's lockdown, they increased
Yeah.
their capacity of oxygen cylinders because लास्ट ईयर का
Correct.
सबसे बड़ा दिक्कत ये था कि जब लोग पहले बीमार पड़ रहे थे ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स हॉस्पिटल्स में नहीं थे. तो that has been a very concerted effort has been put in. So Akash, to answer your question directly, lockdown has not had any specific push in Kerala. Kerala is not a too population dense except a few sectors here and there. Like certain city areas में you'll have possibly a hardcore population, but even there most delivery services are open. घर भर में जहाँ जिसको सामान आना है लोग काम करने भी जा रहे हैं, as in घर पे काम करने. Domestic maids and everyone are also there, so you won't have too much of an issue personally, and not in personally and in general also कि supplies का कोई problem नहीं आ रहा. Obviously the victims of lockdown are not people who have set jobs or private या उसमें
Yeah.
it's people जो unorganized sector में काम करते हैं, which is a huge sector of the population. Small shops क्योंकि obviously customers directly नहीं जा
Shops
सकते
all
तो वही
closed.
है, तो उनको अलाउड नहीं है. Essential कौन किसको माना जाता है essential? Many people fall under the purview of non-essential. Shops are allowed to be open, but movement is allowed a lot more, but the cops are quite strict कि loitering वगैरह ज़्यादा is not tolerated. Here specifically, you can't loiter, but if you have a decent enough reason, unlike last lockdown, they are a bit more flexible because they understand that economy तो यार you can't people can't starve sitting at home either. तो वही.
No, good part is they closed down all these shops and like I mean it's going to hurt them, but it's essential as well. Like things like clothing and electronic shops and all these things have been
All public
closing
places
down.
have been especially closed. Malls,
Yeah.
cinemas, everything.
Yeah, so malls, yeah.
All of them are gone now.
and
Gyms,
and
swimming
grocery
pools.
stores essentially. Grocery stores, I think what they did is the back doors are open, so you have to go and order, and they'll bring the things to you, and they'll just fill it up in the bag, and you have to
Yeah,
pay. So that
हमारे
is one thing
यहाँ
that they're doing.
हमारे यहाँ डायरेक्ट ग्रोसरी स्टोर तो सारे ओपन है नॉर्मली, मतलब यू फ्रंट से जा सकते हो, बट वो लाइन सिस्टम वगैरह है. They will you only certain number of people
And
can enter.
limited.
And unlike last time, याद है पिछली बार जब पहला लॉकडाउन शुरू हुआ था, it was like 6 से 10 के बीच में ही ले सकते हो सामान, या सॉरी 8 से 12 के बीच में. They were like 3 to 4 hour intervals. अभी वो हटा दिया गया है. ऐसा कोई नहीं है, सुबह से शाम तक तुम ग्रोसरी स्टोर खुला होगा, so that लोग भी तमीज से बिहेव करे, होर्डिंग ना हो, and you know कि they
और
will
7
just
बजे
go-
के बाद हो जाएगा ना.
7 साढ़े 7
के
तक
बाद you
7
can't exit.
7:30 के बाद वो नहीं है. People you can go up to 9:30 very easily. ऐसा कोई इशू नहीं है. You must have valid reason. You must have a written document. अभी लास्ट वीक बच्चों के हायर सेकेंडरी के एग्जाम्स हुए हैं, तो there have been all sorts of reasons for which people have to be outside. Like it's and you can't stop it blatantly. The problem with this lockdown is it's coming at a time where public panic is quite higher because more people are dying.
Okay.
So
Akash, but like one of the main things is that the north of India has been, especially north of Maharashtra and Telangana also, they are actually, these are there are quite a lot of places that are struggling the most. Kerala actually is doing all right, even though there are a lot of cases. Luckily they have been able to manage till now. But it's Delhi, Rajasthan's also now currently struggling. Maharashtra, they are all UP, for example, they are doing really bad.
Except Kerala and some states in East, everyone else is struggling. इंडिया में
Yeah.
इस बार के जो लॉकडाउन थे, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे वर नॉट दैट स्ट्रिक्ट एज कंपेयर टू लास्ट के जो 2020 में लगाए थे. They were, as I think, as these guys said, they are much on the linear side throughout even in Maharashtra, even in Jaipur, Rajasthan, in सब पे लॉकडाउन है, but they are not enforced strictly. Free movement अभी भी है, जो लोग काम पे जाते हैं जिनको allowed है, they all go. Shops are quite a lot of shops are open. Essential, majority of them are essential shops, and delivery ये सब चालू है इस बार. लेट नाइट लॉकडाउन ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्टली एनफोर्स है, बट मुझे उसका पर्पस ज्यादा समझ में नहीं आता कि उसका पर्पस क्या है लेट नाइट लॉकडाउन का. दोस आर एनफोर्स्ड वेरी
curfews. Arnav, 7:30 के बाद राजस्थान में no movement at all.
Yeah, that's just making sure everyone
Even
stays home.
even delivery services have been said no, nothing can be done.
So late night is much stricter than during daytime, but yeah, I mean, that's the current state of India. I'm hoping they will announce a complete lockdown. It's even though it's easy for us to say, but I think that's the.
No, I think Rajasthan's done fairly good, because like I remember I had gone to 11 o'clock pay. Not a single store was open. They have actually been very strict, and
only essential shops are open.
Yeah,
grocery, medicine.
There's a difference also, na Kevin. Last time the lockdown was not kept through because it was a novel experience. लोगों में उतना डर नहीं था. It was a new thing that was happening, and by the time this time people are witnessing, and ICT का spread इतना है India में, information communication technology का, everyone's watching people dying, and powerful places में people are dying. So that's something that causes a very ripple effect of paranoia. Nothing is more powerful than fear to keep people.
And everyone is affected, by the way. So currently, my PG is located in a fairly good area. And as in, it's up not good area. Every area is good, but like it's upscale. So there are 2 hospitals, major hospitals here, and both the hospitals. Today, I called for one of my co-worker's friend. His grandmother needed a bed, hospital bed, and both these hospitals, no beds available. Like not even even the whatever they have, presidential suite or whatever crap they have, those are also not available.
Oh, sweet.
So that is.
मुझे पता था आकाश was going to interfere यहाँ पे.
क्या आकाश? What did he say?
Presidential suite, Kevin.
No, I mean I was just kidding about what it's like a.
Abbe, he's making fun of your pronunciation.
Suit or
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But anyway, no. Kevin already picked up the topic of vaccinations. Kevin already picked up the topic of vaccinations. So, what is your guys' opinion on opening it for the 18 and above can take now vaccinations instead when there's hardly any vaccinations available?
I mean, a very
like Kevin said, his
illogical
parents
step.
can't even get second dose or finding it hard to get the
parents
second dose.
who are 60 plus, their appointment has been cancelled because of lack of vaccine availability.
Yeah.
60 plus people are itself not getting their vaccines.
Why is there logic that to open
18
it now?
plus
18
doesn't make sense. I feel it's a very more like a PR campaign to announce to the rest of the world that no, we are also transitioning, but when we have actually failed in our COVID response. So I think personally, I've made this decision on myself that I'm planning to not go, even if I'm eligible for vaccine. I'm not going to go until of another 2 months, because I feel that there are a lot of 60 plus or 45 plus or people who have more serious health conditions who cannot get vaccine. So I think a lot of other people should make that decision. If spots are available, keep track of the website. If spots are available, then take it. But if you see that multiple days are showing booked, and if one day is available in the middle, please don't take that. If you don't have any serious condition, leave it for the most serious people who absolutely need it. That is a personal decision that I'm making.
That's a very mature decision. That's a very rational decision, and it's my only problem is this: either it should have been, if our original approach was very correct, in my opinion, कि हमने जो डिसाइड किया था कि हम सबसे पहले जो मोस्ट सेंसिटिव पॉपुलेशन को दे. नाउ आई डू अंडरस्टैंड द रिवर्स साइड ऑफ इट कि
Get everyone, like
get
everyone
everyone
get it as soon as
universal
possible.
vaccination फैलाओ, we need herd immunity वो. But that's like
Yeah.
आप you cannot it's arbitrarily very hard and quite logistically impossible जब आप strategy midway change करो. Because what has happened is
And it
it
creates more panic.
as Kevin was saying, no, panic वाले part पे मैं quite late हूँ Kevin. I'm saying first just logistically. जब staggered way में आप age wise कर रहे थे, even if people were scared, slowly confidence is being built. You have to understand it's a huge population. इस population में जो 60 plus है, Kevin के parents 60 plus है, मेरे दोनों parents 70 और 74 है. It took me January 16th को इंडिया में vaccination शुरू हुई थी. It took me until March beginning to convince them कि अच्छा, among all the misinformation, you have to get vaccinated. And thankfully, April के end में I was able to get them their second dose as well. Like मेरा barely, I just got through right before a lot of people. It's like in my case, Kevin himself के second dose में issues आ रहे. So, but the thing is, is panic के बीच, the logistically when we were going at a pace where we were slowly getting people in, that works. Now what has happened is जब I don't think we were ready for everyone in the middle of the panic logistically to include, because even if people जिनको डर नहीं था, जो normally register करना चाहते थे, वो भी अभी आ गए हैं ambit के अंदर. And what has happened is they are now clashing with people who are far more at risk. And stress levels and वो are at a severe high, which add to the corona thing too. More people are having heart ailments, cortisol rates. Cortisol का is a hormone that's secreted जो तुम्हारे stress level का वो high होता है, which is by doctors के own accounts is quite bad for corona too. And my तुम्हारी bodily functionings को hamper करता है. तो for me it's logistically and in the middle of panic opening it does not make more any sense at all. In the middle of the
And
panic.
the bigger problem is, especially India, where you can get people are getting vaccine without registering, or like they're jumping around the line. It's even more bigger problem because now 18 plus people are going to jump before there will be people who are 18 plus without any condition, external factors that can ailments are going to be jumping ahead of 60 plus people who have extremely who are vulnerable to this sickness. So here is where the biggest mistake the government has made, and I think that is where they need to either rectify that mistake and just say that please do not register, and let them register but not schedule. Because now another problem is centers themselves are not ready to not prepared to accept that many people. So it's a lack of, you kind of see there is lack of communication between the centers and the vaccination centers and the government itself. And
there is no
I don't
vaccination
know if
center
that's
specifically, Kevin. No? There's nothing that
Yeah.
exists called a vaccination center. There is something called a primary health.
hospitals and all
Yeah, no,
that.
no, but that's the thing. What you described is the actual problem. It's not like a designated vaccination place. This is a hospital which
Yeah.
also gives vaccination. तो they have 200 different things happening. तुझे क्या लगता है अभी इंडिया में लोग सिर्फ वैक्सीनेशन के लिए हॉस्पिटल जाते हैं? नहीं ना. There's a regular population of people जो बीमारियों के लिए जाते हैं वहाँ पे. तो और उनको थोड़ा ना
And one of the
आइडिया
main
क्या
thing is,
करना है.
Arna, I remember I went for COVID test and they accidentally sent me to the vaccine line. So the nurse who was checking, first thing she looked at the report and she said, he's not 45 plus. And then I said, wait, I'm not here for vaccine. I'm here for COVID check. So then they put me in the right line. So I remember the thing is that now the fact is that age thing people were following. Now I'm sure there is backdoor deals going on, but let's not get into that. But the fact is that age thing was there. But now they're going to be, because they're going to be people who are 18 plus and just they're going to be standing in that line who are not going to register and they're just going to get the vaccine.
And even
That
if
is
they
where the
register,
problem
they are
is now.
imagine this ना, ये जो 18 साल के लोग हैं उनका ability to click buttons and sell on Cowin app पे register करना is much faster and easier for them. To reschedule is much faster and easier for them than a 60-70-year-old person. I know for a fact if my parents didn't have me, उनको बड़ा आता register करना वहाँ पे जाके. उनको पता भी नहीं है जब डेट रीस्केड्यूल करनी पड़ती है उनको बड़ा बटन दबाने आते हैं कि नहीं इस टाइम पे करा तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, अगर कोई एरर आता है तो नो इट्स फाइन, यू जस्ट नीड टू रिफ्रेश और ओटीपी वापस आ सकता है, पैनिक मत करो. ऐसा नहीं है यार.
Yeah.
See, मेरा इसमें slightly
And
different take इसलिए है because what happened globally also, right? If you notice, everyone rolled out the exact same strategy जो India rolled out with the same strategy जो US ने की थी UK में, like you have to vaccine the senior citizens, which was the right thing to do at that time. Unfortunately, ये जो जिस type की vaccines है अपनी, there's almost a 4 to 6 week gap in between two doses, right? And India has reached a state जहाँ पे जितना जल्दी अब लोगों को even first dose मिलता है, that gives some sort of protection. And the new data shows this new variant or whatever this new fusion variant people are calling it, it is impacting young population equally, if not the war, which is crazy. And it's also scary at the same time. So logistically, India was never going to be a smooth ride. Logistically, India is not capable enough to handle this kind of vaccination program. India has been good in vaccination in terms of over the long years. कि भाई 10-15 साल का जो लंबे program होते हैं, India has been good in those things because of the slow rollout. For the first time, any country, forget about India, any country has to roll out vaccinations at this scale. First time in the human history, right? And right now, not a single country has been able to do that. Even US, when people say they have a lot of vaccinations and everything, that's bullshit. US has only given some 100 to 200 million doses. In India के comparison में, that's nothing. India is 1.3 billion of जो भी population है. So if India waits कि भाई पहले सब 60 का होगा, it will be a lot of damage. And इस बार तो even people are saying कि young population has been affected more because they were on the ground more. Which is
45
very
plus
evident.
and 60. Arnav, but 45 plus itself are not getting appointments. So then what is the
Logistically,
rolling out 18 plus?
अर्नव तेरा point पता है, तेरा point सही है from the sense of अगर तुमने जो वो तूने एक line नहीं बोली, people are saying younger population is also being affected. A, that does not remove the chance that older people are also being affected. B, when my thing is, if हमने शुरुआत से ही हमारा condition specifically देखकर करा होता कि हमारे केस में universal vaccination makes a lot more sense, then this would not be the issue, ना? Because then we would have had mass procurement of.
We have to think in context. उस time पे when this program started, India was doing really well with COVID.
One, and do you know why we were doing well? People were not getting January 16th it started. Up to February, we were having states surplus vaccine because people were that afraid of getting vaccination. So my point is, the rate being good at that point does not make sense because enough people did not even go to get the vaccination, right? And अभी जब लोग जा रहे हैं, हाँ बोल.
नहीं, but अगर उस time जब vaccination थे या नहीं थे, even that time it was not some smooth ride. Even when vaccine came out, India it was not a smooth ride for vaccination. Yeah, people were going for vaccination, but even logistically, distribution is a very complex thing, right? Especially for a country like India, जहाँ पे so politics और इतनी चीजें आती हैं. States which were favored, they were getting more vaccines. Some states were getting less vaccines. वो सब चल ही रहा था even.
Everyone's talking about urgency.
But if India waits to get, what's the percentage, right? I mean, if we have to open vaccination at a certain point, we cannot wait for 6 months and then open vaccinations right now. India has, unfortunately, in last 1 month, no one expected this to happen in last 1 month. If you ask in February, everyone was fine. February, March, May, and suddenly starting end of March, because of whatever reasons, it picked up. In that
even
case,
45 plus, I feel 45 plus itself are not getting appointment, then opening. For example, there's a SCR hospital right next to where I live. The day they announced 18 plus, there was a bunch of people just got in at the entrance saying, I want vaccine. So that is where the problem is. See,
Arnav, what Kevin is
know that people.
But Arnav, logistics is the problem with logistical problems is that they are the actual problems, na? जो Kevin बोल रहा है is a direct issue.
Logic. Yeah, you need to know your people. You need to know how humans react. The government has to know that you're not working on conceptual mentality that this is technically should be the way it should. No, we are not the country like everyone else.
There's a thing called herd immunity.
It is conceptual.
Herd immunity only reaches when majority of population gets vaccination. Period. There's no other way to it.
नहीं, absolutely. उसमें जितने ज़्यादा लोगों को होगा ना.
18 to 45, 18, they are as Amrit said, they have the easier access to get vaccination because they are used to those platforms, they have access, they have resources, right? And this time, and this is not, people are not making this up. People know, इस बार जो COVID majority फैल रहा है, it's because of younger population, because they are the working force.
Yeah.
Elder people have already got the chance to get at least their
absolutely. My thing is, if we are opening it, then we should have first of all, by only off problem would be yes. अभी एक महीने के अंदर people may start calming down, people may start behaving in a different way. We'll have protracted lockdowns throughout May, and as an overall perspective, it will probably balance out. But the thing is, as an issue, as Kevin explained, the people who are missing out on this now are the people who were extremely vulnerable last month. The people who have not got अभी single dose, half dosed वे patients काफी हैं जो अभी जिस super panic के अंदर तू 18 to 45 वैसे तूने बोला वो prime वो है, we are logistically incapable of getting both of them because the proof of our point is all states have stopped phase 3. Phase 3 has not been allowed in India only. So all states have staggered it back. The worst affected states, Maharashtra, Delhi and Kerala में वो phase 3 उन्होंने delay करने के लिए वो बोल दिया because they are like जो थे उनको नहीं दे पा रहे हम फिर इन जवानों को कैसे देंगे. That's where I think it's a mixture of both your points. जो तूने बोला logistically इसकी अभी impossible है but हमारे पास option नहीं बचा उनकी younger लोगों को मिल रहा है. And Kevin's point कि you need to understand कि आप दे किसको रहे हो. आप जिनको दे रहे हो if they are उस fear और panic में जवान लोग वहां पे जा रहे हैं instead of us promoting more stringent क्या कहते हैं social distancing measures या क्या कहते हैं जब तुम अगर जवान हो और तुम्हारा कोई point नहीं है बाहर जाने का then you should be legally an offense to not to be outside for no reason. तुम्हारे लिए allowed नहीं होना चाहिए. And I know that's hard and impossible to implement. But the problem with that another thing is right now I'll tell you an example. Kevin ने वहां का example दिया. I'll tell you an example here. Our state Kerala has social and healthcare measures में नीति आयोग के मल्टीपल उसमें नंबर 1 रैंक किया गया स्टेट है क्योंकि यहाँ पे अकाउंटेबिलिटी सबसे हाईएस्ट होती है. कैन नॉट बी क्वेश्चन अंडर एनी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. वन ऑफ केरला's मोस्ट हाई प्रोमिनेंट स्टेट कैपिटल के एरियाज में 5 days ago एक बहुत बड़े स्टेडियम में सुबह सुबह नियरली राइट लाइक सिचुएशन हो गया. ऐसा क्यों हुआ? बिकॉज जवान और बूढ़े लोग दोनों पहुंच गए वहां पे वैक्सीनेशन कराने. रजिस्ट्रेशन करके भी लोग गए थे, बिना रजिस्ट्रेशन के भी लोग आए थे क्योंकि लोग वहां आके जब बोल रहे हो फिर तुम क्या करोगे. एंड देन एंडेड अप विद द डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर सेइंग कि वी विल नॉट इंप्लीमेंट इट ओनली. हमारे पास है ही नहीं. वी आर एबल टू गिव आउट ओनली अ फ्यू थाउजेंड डोसेस, बाकी सब घर जाओ. नाउ that scene, Arnav, is being replicated everywhere. You are conceptually correct that India should have done this or India has to do this. कोई option नहीं है. But crowds avoid करने के लिए हमने lockdown डाला, right? In Jagaon have become the center where more and more people are getting infected because they are showing up there without any rhyme or reason. That's why logically itself and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, no?
Others you should have done it the Israel way, where they specifically assigned it to citizens. These days, this time you have to go and get your vaccine done.
हमारी population के साथ
impossible. Yeah, population is way too big.
Israel
model can't be done here
in a very organized way.
If we agree कि ये चलो मान लेते हैं कि ये नहीं करना चाहिए था, right? Let's talk about the solution. What do you think?
I would suggest first of all it should have been 30. We should remove 18 to 30 from. Now let's go to the solution part of it. मेरे लिए very specifically first and foremost it has to be above 30. अब अगर तुम्हें यंगर पॉपुलेशन का भी डर है then we have to keep it in mind कि 30 के ऊपर एटलीस्ट रखो. एंड ओके कोमॉर्बिडिटीज किसी को उस एज से पहले है उनको लाओ उसके अंदर. अगर तुम एक मीडियन एज चूज कर लो, चूज समवेयर बिटवीन 30 to 35 और समथिंग एंड से कि इसके ऊपर. बिकॉज राइट नाउ this chunk of the population which has access to it it's impossible. I saw it with my own eyes and I was completely on board with we need. I was going to completely oppose Kevin's point of कि सबके लिए खोलना नहीं चाहिए. बट देन अभी प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हो रही है? इट इज नॉट इवन कि लाइक नहीं मेरे एरिया में मैंने ऐसे देखा. दैट इज वेरी लोकलाइज्ड प्रॉब्लम. बट नाउ एवरी स्टेट ऑल स्टेट्स आर सेइंग दैट हम फेज 3 इंप्लीमेंट ही नहीं कर सकते भाई. देन दैट टर्न्स इनटू एग्जैक्टली. तो किसी जिसको चाहिए No.
Problem is the number of vaccines.
Yeah, but you have to look at your infrastructure and your
the vaccine shortage is absolutely a thing, na Kevin. Your website now is now taking applications from 18 also. So if I am a 60+ year old, I am not. That's why I said ना तुम्हारे आधार कार्ड में एज होती है उसके अकॉर्डिंग तुम रजिस्टर कर रहे हो, राइट? लेट अस गो प्रोसीजरल वाइज. तो उसमें हमें that's why I said हमें 30 या 35 वो करो, थोड़ी एज को बढ़ा दो वापस. या थोड़ा वो करो, because if all the majority of older people are saying we can't even register, तो बिना registration के लोग जाते क्यों है? क्योंकि मैं old age हूँ but मुझे registration नहीं मिल रहा. That's how. That's why I think
another
it's a
example
logical.
is I looked from March data till March April का data देखा 45 plus तभी तो active था. The thing is this, the point is that everywhere when you look in the back dates it shows booked. The thing is that centers were already working at full capacity. So either you should have looked at state wise saying ठीक है राजस्थान में everything's booked but हरियाणा में appointments are empty, so we'll go by state, look at data and then do. Don't just blindly say something if you can't implement
States
it.
have the power to directly also procure vaccine. It's not only centers.
No,
who
they
can
see
put
now.
vaccine.
Now they have
When
the
your PM
power.
makes an announcement,
Yeah. ये सब changes बाद में है ना. These were the changes
Yeah,
which
yeah.
had to be done.
Back at that time, it was all vaccination was coming through, stocks are coming through center, right? अभी जो प्रोक्योरमेंट हो रही है, अभी जो प्रोक्योरमेंट है, इसमें तुम पैसे देकर प्राइवेट के हाथ में डाल सकते हो. पॉइंट है कि अगले 2 महीने के अंदर ऑल द प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स यहाँ पे यही बोल रहे थे. मैंने बोला हमारी कंपनी के वहाँ पे प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स आर सेइंग कि आप डील बनाइए हमारे साथ, हम आपके लिए 70 to 100 एम्प्लॉयज के लिए प्रोक्योर करवा सकते हैं. आप उनके फैमिली मेंबर्स को ऐड करना चाहते हैं, पैकेजेस आर बीइंग सेंट आउट. बट इफ यू जस्ट इमेजिन द शेयर नंबर ऑफ पीपल नेक्स्ट 2 months में हु विल बी लेफ्ट आउट ऑफ दिस लूप, then it's ridiculous. Abhi log
See, we cannot focus on number of people who are left out because we have to understand herd immunity doesn't reach that
absolutely Arnav, that's the thing also, right? If we get this urban population which is still so high, they do not represent herd immunity का amount क्या होता है? 50% of the population cover होनी चाहिए, right?
There is no fixed amount. It depends.
There's no
it
fixed
changes.
But okay, then you would have to give me amount a number. It has to be.
People say 70% is the herd immunity. At least in
तो
US.
अर्नव, डू यू ऑनेस्टली थिंक हमारे अर्बन एरियाज में उतने लोग है ही नहीं इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस जो कॉर्पोरेट और स्ट्रक्चर में है आते हैं.
लेकिन COVID is primarily focused in urban areas at the same time.
It is. I'm not saying it's not going to spend. I'm saying अगर हम पूरी पॉपुलेशन के एम्बिट पे बात करें. Now if we talk about most infected people, if that reduces the number of there may be the ratio increases. My fear personally right now is just that due to this administrative loophole that is created, a lot more people are going to be left out of it due to lack of ICT access and lot of. I feel
I'm looking based on data, or no, I'm making a judgment based on data. March, April, May, it was majority. It showed not available, which means vaccine is not available or booked. So 45 plus itself, it was not booked and not available for them. So why would you release? That is my basic logic. अगर तुमने अपना एक requirement fulfill नहीं किया तो तुमने दूसरे step पे क्यों गए?
So I
can't fulfill it.
I think universal. I think
data wise.
Problem is vaccine का production, right? Problem is not the age opening. Problem is vaccine का production कितने level पे हो सकता है?
Cannot match the demand at all.
I think Kevin's trying to hint at saying that provide the vaccine since there's a shortage, provide it to those
people who
mostly
no and I think that staggered thing also. I think in 18 to 45 अभी जो open किया है, for me it's like if people are still afraid, we may have to draw a line somewhere in the middle. Let's focus on solutions. I would personally, right now it's open 18 to 45. If system keeps being overwhelmed for the next 2 weeks also, I would suggest raising that back to 30 at least. 30 तक बढ़ाओ. Then private hospitals have के लिए अगर को subsidized rate में increase हो. We need more vaccination centers. I think abandoned school buildings है, party offices है, large मैदान्स है. We have stadiums. They have to be converted into emergency vaccination centers as much.
Political rallies हो रही हैं अभी. वहाँ पे वो वैक्सीन नहीं दे सकते.
वहाँ पे जो इम्यूनिटी लोग गेन कर रहे हैं उसके बाद उसी स्टेडियम में वैक्सीनेशन दो.
Okay, India में some places are charging for vaccine, no?
Yeah, it's begun.
Yeah, 250 rupees. Maximum.
But why?
Not in government places.
The government says it should be.
सरकारी वाले में
But majority places it's free.
No, the government hospitals obviously must be free.
Zero. My like government वगैरह में zero मिलता है. Private में जा रहे तो private को business है ना.
Why is not a question. It's a
अबे तूने सुना वो Serum Institute वाले बंदे ने क्या बोला? It's not like we are not making profits. It's just that we are not making super profits.
It's so dumb. I mean, like, I feel like the government should step in and just say that,
Yeah.
okay, this you cannot charge for
No,
this
they
now.
should
We'll
charge.
You
buy
have
it
to.
from you.
Akash, it's very easy to
No,
say
but-
that. It's
Government
easy to
themselves
say that
buy
in
those
Akash,
a.
that
bulk.
is
It's impossible.
Like,
Akash, it's the difference
see it
between
in other countries
capitalist
being
versus
done.
socialist.
Yeah, and ours is a
Current
social welfare
government is
based
not
country.
exactly a socialist point of view.
No, Kevin, it's not ulta, by
It's
the way.
not even possible, Kevin. It's not even
Yeah.
possible. तू
The
क्या
thing
बात
is,
कर रहा
Akash,
है?
the countries which you're talking about, they have a trillions of dollars in money, right? US,
हम-
UK, they were way ahead
I
of
mean-
line in distribution.
हमारा fiscally
They have
deficit
I mean,
signed
we
country है
bilateral
bilateral
boss.
deals with companies directly.
I mean, we could have used the PM cares fund. Just, I mean,
ऐसा कुछ
I
है
don't
इंडिया
think
में
अपने को-
इम्पॉसिबल है. इंडिया में इम्पॉसिबल था अंडर एनी गवर्नमेंट. किसी गवर्नमेंट इस
Yeah,
गवर्नमेंट की कोई
correct.
गलती नहीं है. किसी के
नहीं,
बस
no,
no,
क्या
charging is
government
not
का
a
issue.
problem.
चार्जिंग इज नॉट एन इशू बिकॉज यू कैन गेट इट पोर पीपल स्पेशली के लिए मच
No,
इजियर है गवर्नमेंट और उसमें. आई हैव आकाश आई एम सेइंग दिस बिकॉज आई
Akash,
वेंट टू अ
correct.
गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल एंड माय फैमिली इन डिफरेंट
Hmm.
स्टेट्स हैव
Akash,
गॉट टू गवर्नमेंट
majority-
हॉस्पिटल. तो होगा ही नहीं.
Majority list में it was unpaid. Like it was not unpaid as in zero. It was free. So like only few
Government.
places were paid.
अभी क्या है
Government comes, it's free.
प्राइवेट
comes, it's
वाले
paid.
अभी जो प्राइवेट में तुम जा रहे हो वहां पे भी 200 300 400 में अभी भी हो जाएगा. एंड नाउ एंड इट्स वेरी हाईली रेगुलेटेड आल्सो. एंड आकाश द रीजन क्या वो है कि अगर नॉट जो लोग अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं प्राइवेट में जाने को, इट विल इंसेंटिवाइज प्राइवेट टू गेट मोर स्टॉक एंड हेंस एज अर्नव सेड मोर पीपल गेट ब्लडी वैक्सीनेटेड इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस.
Yeah.
कि इनको वो मिले जो तुम अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं. इन द बिगिनिंग इट वाज ऑल
Yeah.
फॉर फ्री
And
बिकॉज़ इन
and those companies or employers or anything like household people, if they can support your people who work for you, etc.
Yeah.
And their
Absolutely.
families, that will be awesome because it's
I have a
technically not a
question.
huge investment for you.
What do you
Barely.
think? I know we are dragging this topic, but what do you think जो इंडिया ने पहले किया that when COVID was low in India उस time पे like January, February, March वाले time frame में they were exporting vaccines, right? What do you think on that topic? जैसे US ने ये नहीं किया. US was like we are going to give it to our citizens first. We are not going to. They signed the deal.
No, I think that was
a
a-
good decision or bad.
I'm not against that. Let us all say our individual opinion on it. I am
Yeah,
pro that
I'm just curious to know.
because I think diplomacy wise, impression wise, if we truly had not predicted what was going to happen, then yeah, if we are going to be a global power and people will keep saying कि पहले अपना तो घर संभालो, but I think that's a very smaller way of looking at it. If we were not aware that this was going to happen, then helping out needy people around the world is a very good soft power का sign. It builds relationships and at the end of the day it would be the right thing to do. अगर आपके पास production capability है और आप किसी की जान बचा सकते हैं sitting in a different corner of the world, जिनके पास इंडिया का manufacturing capability नहीं था उस point पे, वो now with the hindsight of what has happened
Obviously, yeah.
right now
in
it-
retrospective,
now it's easy for us
It's
to
a-
say that
oh,
idiots
yeah,
you
I know,
shouldn't have
but yeah.
given it.
back then I was 100%
Okay.
pro it.
okay.
The thing
I
is
was
that
just curious to know
130
सब क्या
million
सोचते हैं.
I have a problem with the quantity. So like I feel that more smaller quantities for emergency use was probably the right way to go. I kind of feel that the exporting quantity was just a wait for the organizations involved to earn more money because it was sold at a much higher price. So I have a problem with the 130 million doses being sent because it wasn't an emergency quantity. So I personally think
What
sending
is emergency
emergency would have
quantity?
been the right way.
What is the
As in
emergency quantity?
The people who are, I would say, just so that the other countries like getting their doctors vaccinated and things like that.
No, but it was
On
a
the
lot
bare
of countries.
minimum side,
I don't know
they can-
कितने countries थे? 80 countries. कितने countries थे? बहुत countries
Yeah,
हुए थे ना हमने.
it was a bunch of countries and it went to primarily the frontline workers only. It didn't go to the citizens of those nations. It went to frontline workers of those small countries.
I
Especially
don't know,
major-
but if India has helped and if other countries are willing to help, then yes. But till now, I've seen more countries put bans on India, and
What-
then so I don't know how much bilateral relations have been fixed by this.
No, no, Kevin,
Secondly,
small
I see a
countries
lot of
cannot
Just small.
countries,
countries.
These are countries in a much worse
I
position
see-
in India. And Kevin, people
I
having
see-
travel restrictions on
No,
us.
countries like Canada, Australia, where we shipped, how are they in a worse position? They have
I'm
much
saying
better bilateral
Kevin,
relations with countries.
Kevin, I'm saying majority of the countries and right who had वो. And जब हमने भी UK की flights बीच में बैन करी थी, हमने भी साउथ अफ्रीका की flights बैन करी थी जब वहाँ का वेरिएंट फैल रहा था. So that is a basic safety move everyone does. सबने वो एक दूसरे पे बैन डाले हैं जब फट जाती है सबकी
फ्लाइट्स बैन तो
वेरिएशन है.
I mean वो तो करना ही था. I mean that's a good decision on any country's part. US ने भी I'm sitting in US right now. I feel bad कि flights are banned because if I have to travel in emergency I cannot. But then that's the need of the hour again. I mean they have to ban.
Yeah, that अभी यूएस ने क्या वो प्ले Pakistan allowed an aid flight to come through their airspace to India. They helped
And
us.
I am not going to question whether sending is wrong. All I'm going to say is planning was wrong. If you're sending that many doses, you also have to consider the fact that your own people are not going to get vaccinated. So you need an alternate plan for that, which means overtime manufacturing of vaccine, do whatever it takes to compensate for that. You should not send vaccines at the cost of your own people. Helping others, I agree. I would love it. And I don't know the details of who exactly got it. We are never going to know that exactly who all have gotten.
No, that's those country ka depend
the
karta hai.
plan.
That's up to them.
Exactly. The plan is the most important part. The fact is that we have failed in our planning phase is my problem. I don't care how many was sent. We should have planned it for it.
But do these things get spoiled? Do these things get spoiled?
If they're not in storage, if 130 million
AstraZeneca is a very
doses,
low wale wo. I mean, they can be maintained for a long time.
If a lot of these doses could have saved a lot of lives today, so either the country should plan for this ahead or not go to hell. Because if you can't handle, then don't do it. That is my straightforward point of view.
Yeah, obviously, so in retrospective, not a single vaccine should have been sent in retrospective, right? Yeah, even I agree. Like,
no,
that's what I said.
No, the planning is the problem.
Yeah, now we can. It's easy for us to say.
No, I'm questioning the planning, not the sending of vaccine. I'm questioning.
No, and that's the thing. More than even the vaccination, the healthcare infrastructure over the last 1 year in all these lockdowns, each of these states should have actively worked on procurement of the needs, especially the population dense places should have worked higher on oxygen cylinders, ventilators. इस पे काम ज़्यादा होना चाहिए था. इस पे काम ज़्यादा होना चाहिए था. Because
the one which they never invested in. That's the problem.
पब्लिक हेल्थ इंफ्रा, प्राइवेट की बात भी नहीं, क्योंकि एंड में तो जब आप अमीर होके प्राइवेट में जा रहे हैं और प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल फिर हाई कोर्ट में अपील डाले, दैट मींस नथिंग. दैट डज नॉट कम टू एनीथिंग. आपको सॉफ्ट पावर बढ़ानी काफी अच्छी है, बट इन द लॉन्गर रन ऑफ थिंग्स, अगर nobody can say that its own population is now running out of then obviously it appears like अरे नहीं यार कुछ बचा के रखना चाहिए था. But yeah,
let's move on now.
We should have planned for it. That's it. कुछ तो करना चाहिए था उसके लिए. कुछ तो हमने किया नहीं वो. That is the sad point. But yeah, anyways, just don't panic on this situation, guys. The last thing you want to do is panic on COVID. So
wait, let Kevin. I think if you can afford a presidential suit, buy it.
Yes, you are
stay in there. And then I also heard Amrit say redonkulous in the middle.
Redonkulous. I actually like that.
Instead of ridiculous, you didn't say ridiculous. You said redonkulous, Amrit.
तू भाई हम तो ऐसे ही बात करते हैं. तू ना तो यहाँ का है ना तो तू वहाँ का है. तो ये आकाश से इनिट बोल.
इनिट.
हाय छी. Kevin was wrapping us up in a nice way, but you guys ruined it.
No, I had to lighten the mood for a bit.
Kevin, have you gotten all of it out of your system? Sab ab theek hai na? Ab you feel all the negative talks.
I'm going to play PUBG after this, and maybe we'll. Please do not. Please look at if you don't trust an organization. If everyone is donating to an organization, please don't follow the trend. See what organization this is. If you don't want to donate it, that
there are
hundreds
useful
of different ways.
The only useful thing to put money into is
interrupting Kevin.
I'm going to end with on put it in your local area. Like Kevin is saying, follow Kevin's advice. Put it to people you know who will actually help.
Yes.
That's what I told
Arnav. And if money is
Kevin finish his point. Why are you interrupting? Kevin.
And if money is a problem, if you can invest, for example, for me, they have asked me to wait for a little long before I do a blood donation. But if you are healthier, please do blood donations, anything and everything. Money is not the only donation you can do. So yes. And last donation, please. One thing I realized was, please don't panic if you're COVID test. The last thing you want to do is panic and go to a hospital when you don't have issues. So just stay in your at home and evaluate your situation every 2 to 3 years by using oximeter and thermometer. Please don't just panic and go to hospital, because we need to help our healthcare system correctly.
Great advice from a COVID survivor. Thank you, Kevin. And now let's move on to a more positive topic. No, I was actually being serious. These guys are laughing. I was
अपना
actually being
होस्ट
serious.
बहुत ही हरामी है.
I
You
was
are
actually being
Akash,
serious.
तू
These guys
saying
are
you're a
laughing.
terrible person, you know. Kevin इतने emotion से सब कुछ
No.
बोलता है. How charged up is
No,
Kevin?
Kevin, it was very good. Okay, now moving on to a much brighter topic.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy about this topic because of the result we got. Champions League semi-final.
क्या हुआ?
Chelsea and Real Madrid drew, boys. They drew.
Yeah, it's a
Kya
away
baat
goal
hai.
advantage. That's amazing.
Away goal advantage at the Bernabeu.
Wow.
My God.
Wow. Yes.
Amrit,
How dangerous.
You don't understand how big this is. Okay, I thought we were going to be thrashed 8-1. But we
अबे
got 1-1.
मैं अगले दिन
No,
सुबह
you guys would not got to get thrashed 8-1 for sure. Not
Kevin,
by this
with
Real
Chelsea, you can
Madrid.
never know, man.
Not with this
Still
Real
with Chelsea,
Madrid.
you can never
No.
know.
If there
But,
was if CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo in that team, maybe possible. Not with this team.
Bad.
Informed
Hazard,
Cristiano
stay out.
Ronaldo.
Do not come. Have some loyalty towards Chelsea. Stay out of the games.
क्या हैजार्ड को क्या खिलाते नहीं है क्या?
Fuck. But anyway,
Oh,
He's
I'm
injured.
just
he's been
injured.
unfit and injured.
I'm just checking the lineup to see if इनकी टीम में क्या है. तो इनमें से आधे लोगों को नाम भी नहीं जानता. नहीं, एक्चुअली मैं जानता हूँ. Benzema.
But
No, but-
Arnav might like this. Pulisic was compared to Kobe because he said job's not done in a press conference at the end of the thing. They asked him, are you happy with the one?
Copycat.
Akash, I
कौन
don't
है
think
ये?
he
कौन
knows
सी टीम का
Pulisic.
प्लेयर है?
He's Chelsea's
Oh.
Pulisic is
Why
that
would you say this?
Similar.
Pulisic is that American
American.
guy. All these
He's
people are crazy.
surprisingly good football player from America.
Young?
So he actually had he was having an underwhelming season, but he played amazing against Real Madrid.
Yeah. He started off the season very well, then somehow dipped. I guess all the whatever drama was going on.
Did you guys see the Man City game? I mean, those goals were like some freak of nature goals, man. Like it was so
Kevin
they
De
were
Bruyne.
super lucky
De
the way
Bruyne.
they won. Yeah.
And the free kick, who was his? Was his the free kick?
No, Mahrez took the free kick.
No, Mahrez.
And
Yeah,
s-
he took the free
and
kick,
somehow
and how
it went through like
yeah.
the perfect space between the wall. Like the people who stand in front of the free kick.
That was
and
a
form a
stupid
human
mistake
wall.
as well on their part, though.
Yeah.
Kevin as well, the wall.
But it's very lucky
It was
that
like-
it can go through the wall.
Very
like that.
lucky. Very lucky it went through. Or skill. You never know, man. Skill.
No.
Yeah, we can.
Mahrez did not intend.
Mahrez is a good
I
guy.
can give
Like
you
I
that.
like Mahrez a lot. अच्छा player.
He's fine, man. Him and Leicester.
Yeah,
You
he's
see-
a very good
Oh,
player.
did you guys see? Screw the Champions League. Manchester United won Europa League semi-final 6-2 against Roma.
Who the hell cares about that? Be
Six
happy
Cares
we
about
won the
Europa
Champions.
League.
Hey Kevin, your team got
Chelsea is
knocked
the
out.
only
Okay,
one to win the
we are the
Champions League.
second best team in England.
Chelsea is the only team to
No,
win the Champions League
I'm
and straight
just-
after that win the
I
Europa
just
League.
क्योंकि we were
Don't
seeing
talk about
we
yourself.
were talking about this boring
What-
topic. So I was
what-
like मैं अपनी team का देखता हूँ. So I just realized United
What are
का
your
match है.
predictions?
United will win.
Man,
Wait. Of what
City.
team?
no one cares about you.
City. Oh, why am I
City.
saying City?
Chelsea is
Hey,
due to
Madrid.
win
Tell me, what
after
is your
this
final
performance.
prediction? Who do you
Madrid.
think is going to
This-
make it to the final?
Chelsea.
चल बे. Madrid City.
There are two teams have to make it now. No. There is
No,
Man
Chelsea,
City.
Chelsea and Man City. It's going to
Yeah.
be an all English
And
final.
then
bro.
Manchester United will win because
Yeah, even
because they're playing Europa and now that's the
even,
most valuable
even I
thing for them.
predict that Man City versus Chelsea. But one thing that worries me is Man City doesn't play with a striker. I think Akash, that is going to be an advantage
false
for you
nine.
guys. Because if a defensive team plays, if Chelsea plays defensive, for example, against Man City won't be able to score a single goal. Not a single goal because they don't have that striker to be doing.
I
that
don't
work
think
for them.
Chelsea should be in a Champions
Park the
League
bus, man.
final though. These guys don't deserve
Oh, come
to
in.
do that.
If we do it again, last time we didn't deserve it either, actually as well.
It's-
Actually, we played very well against Napoli.
Underwhelming team that has reached the final. I see. We
Oh,
deserve
please,
to lose.
Amrit,
See,
if we win the
deserve to
Champions
lose.
League, I will rub it in your
Akash,
face the most.
you will not win it, okay? And if you win, also, I will not
So
accept.
you
it.
are saying Chelsea, right? As you,
I'm in Chelsea. Yeah.
Kevin?
I have to go Chelsea.
It'll be between Man City and Chelsea, and I
Abhi,
think Man
choose
City
one,
will win.
na.
Hey,
एक
Kevin,
choose
stop being
करना है.
negative, man.
Ah,
No,
Man
no,
He
I
said
City.
Man
said
City. He
final.
said Man City. He said
Yeah.
Man City.
And who's the वो winner कौन
No,
होने वाला
I
है तेरे
think
according?
Man City will win,
Man
but I
City.
want
He said Man
Chelsea.
City.
I
अबे
support,
अर्नव,
I'll support
he
Chelsea
said
to
it
win.
thrice now. तू बहरा है क्या बे? कितनी बार बोलेगा वो?
He said, I think Man City.
अब
will
आकाश
win.
ने change कर दिया. आकाश कह रहा है कि now Man City will win the whole thing.
No. I'm saying Kevin is saying Man City will win. But you're getting confused very
No, I
easily.
You're
said
so
Man City
old.
will
I said
probably
Chelsea.
win, but
Yeah.
I'm going to support Chelsea for the
See,
final.
अबे
confuse
Kevin,
करता
तू
है ये
बहुत
ऐसे मुझे.
confuse कर रहा है.
ओए,
तू confuse कर रहा है सबको.
whenever I try to make it seem like you say something sensible, you end up saying stupid shit. चुप रह. Just keep quiet.
Okay,
Amrit-
Chelsea. I support Chelsea. Okay.
Amrit says Man United is going to win.
Yes.
Even though they're not in the
So
Champions
is
League.
Madrid is not
But
out
he
yet,
said-
right?
No. They're not out yet. But I'm
Okay,
hoping Chelsea will
Arnav,
knock
there
out.
is a second leg.
Hey,
Arnav,
what is called prediction का
Man
मतलब क्या
City-
होता है?
Arnav, Man
Hmm.
City and PSG are going to play at Man City's home next, and Man City is with one already at PSG's home by 1-2. Matlab they scored 2 goals, so they have 2-goal away
The
advantage.
advantage.
So they have huge
And-
advantage. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chelsea,
And
then Chelsea
is
has-
I won't say
drawn-
huge.
Chelsea.
Yeah, not huge.
Chelsea
Yeah, knowing
is
those two,
drawn
वो दो
against-
cartoon, if they start scoring goals, then it might.
Chelsea
कौन सा
is-
अर्नव कौन सा कार्टून?
Cartoon.
गारफील्ड एंड डेक्स्टर किसकी बात कर रहे तू? Which cartoon?
I haven't seen those वाले यार. मैंने बचपन में देखा नहीं था. My
फालतू में
childhood was.
चने खाते हुए लपेट रहा है.
You didn't watch cartoons in your childhood.
19-20
What
साल का कौन सा
rubbish.
लड़का है फ्रांस का? क्या नाम है उसका? I don't remember his name. वो वर्ल्ड कप में काफी
Oh,
अच्छा
Mbappe.
खेला.
अबे
He's
एम्बापे
talking about
एम्बापे की बात
Yeah.
कर रहे
and
हैं.
Neymar.
And Neymar, yeah. I meant those two guys. Neymar मुझे पता था, उसका मुझे नाम पता नहीं था एम्बापे का.
Neymar is friends with
No, I
Jimmy
think-
Butler for some reason. वो एक साथ वीडियो में आते रहते हैं. Yeah, Neymar and Jimmy Butler.
They've been extreme. Jimmy Butler is friends with a lot of people apparently.
Yeah,
Mark
even
Wahlberg
Antoine
is a great
Griezmann for
friend of-
some reason. I'm like, Antoine Griezmann, concentrate on the field. Do something.
छोड़ना, तेरा Barcelona is not even in the Champions League.
Yeah,
How are you-
Kevin, just
Focus
because you're
on
knocked out of the tournament, stop crying. College की तरह रोता रहता है.
Yeah, look at
We have
Manchester
one-
United. They're in
Hey,
Europa.
Europa, bro.
Hey, we have one trophy, okay, till now. Amrit, do you have a trophy yet?
Yes, Europa जीते थे हम
Arnav,
4
what is
साल
your
पहले.
prediction? Arnav, what is your prediction? Who's going to
Mourinho won us a
City.
trophy, I think.
City?
और फाइनल में आएगा सिटी वर्सेस मैड्रिड.
Oh,
I really want Akash to
An asshole.
lose. That's all I want. I don't care.
No, I do. I want you to
I
stop
don't.
it up.
I am openly. I don't
So
even care
bad.
if my team wins. I just want his team.
Amrit, so the
तेरी
summarize,
team तो है ही नहीं ना?
Kevin chooses Chelsea. No, they're not.
Okay. Well,
पर हम
Kevin
सेकंड
chooses
बिगेस्ट
Chelsea.
यूरोपियन कंपटीशन के सेमीफाइनल में
Shut up.
फर्स्ट लेग में 6-2 जीत गए. So
Kevin chooses Chelsea. Amrit chooses Manchester United, who are not in the Champions League, but he'll go with them anyway. Arnav chooses City, and I choose Chelsea as well. Very good summary of the Champions League predictions.
thank you.
Very well laid out discussion.
Yeah.
Now let's just quickly move on forward. The Oscars took place recently, the world's biggest award function for entertainment, one could say.
yeah.
And did any of you guys watch the Oscars? Because I know we have a lot of movie buffs in this crowd.
Ooh, do
I
we?
didn't
watched
watch the
the
Oscars,
Oscars?
but I've like tracked the movies and stuff that were major. I haven't watched
Good, because
a lot
I
of the
neither
movies.
did I watch the Oscars. I just want to tell you.
I've
that,
never
because I've
actually
always got
watched the
awards.
ceremony. I've only watched clips
Yeah.
here and there.
Some are good. Some, when last one Eminem came to perform, which was shocking because Eminem doesn't come to do shit like this. There's a famous story that Oscars asked him to perform ages ago, but he was sleeping through the call or something. He missed the call, so he came back, and everyone was shocked that
No.
this audience.
I think Akash, one of the times Oscar pay, I think Eminem was supposed to perform and then they bypassed him and they asked someone else to perform. I
Yeah,
think
no, they
that's why.
said they
think Eminem
asked
was
him.
pissed
They
off.
asked him, "Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?" And he didn't stand up, so they moved on.
But yeah, the last Oscars was good. But my main question was: have you guys seen any of the movies nominated for the Oscars?
I watched the Chicago.
Kevin
I'm gonna
has.
read out.
I think Kevin watched it.
Loved it.
Kevin has seen one. Kevin has seen
Yep.
one for sure because he keeps telling me non-stop to watch this movie,
Yeah.
which I haven't.
The
watched.
Oscars
Sorry,
don't mean the same as they did. OTT era mein, it's like you decide what's special on your own. And that's when I.
Okay, so I'm going to read out the list. You guys say yes or no if you've watched it. Okay. So Kevin has watched this, The Trial of Chicago 7. So that's a no from me. I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Amrit, Arnav,
Another movie I want to
No.
watch is the Judas and the Black Messiah.
I'm
That
getting
was-
that. Sound of Metal, Riz Ahmed movie. I've heard a lot about this movie where
मैंने ट्रेलर देखा बहरा हो
I
जाता है
think he's a deaf.
वो बहरा हो जाता है
Yeah,
ड्रम बजाते बजाते
yeah.
इट वाज ऑल दिस मूवीज का ट्रेलर इतने डिप्रेसिंग थे और लास्ट ईयर कोविड के बीच में मुझे और डिप्रेसिंग चीजें नहीं देखनी थी
That's all the art house movies. Promising Young Woman, which I have no idea about. Only.
No,
Did you make it?
I watched the I watched the
Yeah,
trailer. I
well,
wasn't very interested in it. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, this one I didn't watch.
Oh, of course you don't like a movie title Promising Young Woman, Kevin. How shameless. But yeah.
I know Arnav hasn't watched it either. Nomadland. Now, this one is the one who won the Best Picture Oscar, this movie. And the
This-
director also.
Arnav,
Also, the
Oscar is an
director-
award they give for movies. तुझे ये तो पता है ना? हाँ, okay.
Slumdog
Otherwise known as
Nomadland-
the Academy Award.
Nomadland seemed like a good adventure movie, but it's not my. I don't know. I didn't feel
The
like that
director,
interested
Kevin,
in it.
is directing the Marvel movie, The Eternals, as well.
Chloe.
She's already
Chloe.
directed it. Yeah, she's directed.
That was the main thing, na? That she the first woman of color to win Best Director.
Yeah. Yep. Apparently, it's a good movie. I've heard of the next one, Minari. I've heard a lot of good things about this one.
Yeah,
वो साउथ कोरियन मूवी
I
थी
like the
का जो-
trailer, but it's a little
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, I
वो
think.
ग्रैंडमदर के ऊपर है ना वो
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a
The next-
struggling Asian family in US
See,
trying to
that's
make it.
these are we are all part of struggling Asian families in India. तो ये सारे issues और भी वो करते हैं. I can understand why I never watched any of these movies. But yeah, आगे बढ़.
And the next one is Mank. I have no idea about this one.
Black and white movie है. बहुत nomination मिले थे, but उनको award नहीं दिया कोई भी शायद.
They didn't get money awards.
10 nomination.
And Kevin also watched. Once said he already mentioned he wants to watch this one, Judas and the Black Messiah. I think the best supporting actor, this Daniel Kaluuya.
उसको मिला.
I think
Yeah.
he won best
Yeah.
supporting actor for that.
And I think
heard
I
good
watched
things
the
about this.
trailer for that, and I've put it on my list definitely. It seems very interesting to me. It's basically on the chairman of Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party in basically the 1960s. So it seems very interesting.
ये Netflix पे इनमें से कुछ भी है.
Trial of Chicago 7.
वो तो Netflix की मूवी थी ना वो तो. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
I do not know the rest. I have not
And-
seen.
and
it.
then-
And the last one is The Father.
Oh,
Now this is an Anthony Hopkins
Anthony
movie. He won Best Actor, which has been a bit controversial because everyone was saying Chadwick Boseman should have got it.
Yeah, but वही है ना क्या बोल सकते हैं. Should have earned something and
Plus, I think
popular opinion.
when you watch the trailer,
I
Anthony
haven't
Hopkins
seen-
is doing fucking amazing in
Anthony
that
Hopkins
movie.
is a great actor.
Like it's
man.
also
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
always been a
tragic
great actor.
situation,
Yeah,
right?
sentimental
People
वो है ना
Yeah,
यार.
it's also
Chadwick
motivated
Boseman is a
by
40
what
the 40-year-old who fought and was a symbol for many people
Went
in
too
many,
early.
in a very and he went through a very terrible thing. So sentimental favorite
I think-
था वो.
It's same as
I think
Sushant Singh
Chadwick
Rajput.
Boseman matters
Everyone wanted
more
him to
than
win
the
all the
Oscar.
awards.
Yeah.
Chadwick
I mean,
Boseman is
Anthony
much
Hopkins
above
dedicated the
to
award.
me.
Anthony Hopkins dedicated the award to Chadwick Boseman.
Nice.
We haven't seen the movies, so
He already
class act,
his Magna Carta, his main one was Silence of the Lambs के लिए उसने अपना
Silence of the Lambs.
he has done his mic drop already in life. He doesn't need another Oscar at all.
He got
Yeah,
two.
he doesn't need any
He got- now he's
validation
got
or
two
कुछ भी.
Oscars. Everyone
He's
knows.
beyond all
Everyone
these
knows he's a
things.
great actor.
उसकी
Everyone
वो
knows
ऐसा
he's
मूवी और ऐसा कैरेक्टर दिखा चुका है दुनिया को कि उसको और करने and वही
Now all he wants to do is get paid. I mean, he was in a rubbish Transformers movie. He played Odin in 4
but
multiple times.
मार्वल का मजाक मत उड़ा भाई.
He get paid, man. Get paid, man. Anthony Hopkins,
actually,
make your
there was
money.
one-
Kevin, Akash, you don't
Akash.
need to tell him to get paid. He's getting paid. Get paid, man. Get
I'm
paid.
rooting for him,
best
man. Do any
documentary-
role, man. That.
There was
Best
this one
documentary.
best documentary one. Have you My Octopus Teacher? I think that seemed interesting.
Yeah, that
from the
one,
trailer. Yeah, that
I am
seemed very interesting. on
astonished
trailer.
that
I'm putting that on
The
the
Last
list.
Dance was not nominated, man. What a documentary.
That was the best documentary of the year.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm
is it?
surprised that
Okay,
didn't even get
I didn't watch
nominated.
By Michael Jordan की
Oh,
documentary Kevin.
Michael Jordan.
Oh
It's
yeah,
on
yeah. Oh,
Netflix. It's very good.
wait. Never mind.
You don't
know
like
which
it?
year. I was the. I thought you meant like some step up thing.
नहीं चल बे
No. Step up.
हाँ मैं और
No, the
आकाश
last-
the
I mean, yeah,
last
we-
dance, yes, I watched it. Michael Jordan.
I'm surprised it
But,
didn't get nominated. I don't care if it won, but I'm surprised it didn't get nominated because it was a very well-made documentary in my opinion.
But again,
Hindu-
Akash, is that because we have a sentiment?
No,
towards-
Kevin,
I've seen so many
non-basketball watching UFC.
Boring documentaries of Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
It was liked
and
by.
it was trending everywhere. at
It was
one point.
discussed by people who have
Everyone
not,
is
who have zero knowledge of
Yeah.
the sport. It was done so well. Like it was.
But I feel Oscars always like again like
Netflix के against
the
है.
choice of movies are very different.
अरे and the problem ये होता है
So
ना
it was a ESPN
documentary
thing,
के लिए
not exactly Netflix.
Netflix पे पर उन्होंने हर जगह डाला था. The problem is
Yeah,
it
for
ha-
global
it
audience.
has to be it has to have limited theatrical release as well. Complete OTT नहीं allow करते हो. जैसे Netflix की movies to get nominated, they release them अलग से certain उनमें.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
छोटे
about
छोटे
two
theaters में.
ideologies in a way. Like Oscar is always so far doesn't feel like they're going to favor Netflix movies.
वही ना but they are the exact.
Which is so dumb.
It is can you exact that's why they've lost everything now. They've lost every single thing. Last 5 years man, none of their movies are seen as much as any of Netflix movies. The Netflix owned
Yeah,
all
I
of
mean,
this.
they're trying to hold on to the
Hold on,
industry
but that's the
tradition.
thing ना पहले क्या होता था they would boo all these movies and all of that, but now they are forced
Yeah.
to accept them in nominations
Accept
and
it.
eventually
Especially in this COVID situation, everyone is at home. Everyone needs
Yeah.
full watch at home Netflix and the
कौन गया
Change
theater?
always takes time.
I don't know one of the movies except that trial वाला movie उनकी वो थी
Yeah.
Kevin had once before also said it and I saw it on Netflix. Not one of the other movies I have seen anywhere.
Yeah.
How
एक
did you
movie.
like it though? The Trial of Chicago.
I saw the trailer and I got depressed, so I didn't watch it.
No, the trailer was very good, Kevin. I'll admit.
Right.
All this star
Kevin,
cast was in
so
there.
jo-
Amrit, that guy Sacha Baron Cohen, he's gone to Oxford or Cambridge. You know that?
the Akash keeps saying that about Sacha Baron Cohen.
It's shocking, Kevin. Yeah, the guy. So, it's shocking that this guy made Borat, and he went to Oxford and Cambridge, and he went and made.
10 साल से बोल रहे हैं मतलब it's the
Getting into
most
the-
irritating thing I've ever heard.
Although I think his qualification is probably the least thing I would put in his list.
अरे
of,
but that's
he's a
not the
very
issue.
smart
It's
guy.
it's not
Very-
it's not a he's a path he's a visionary who called out the hypocrisy of
Yeah.
social norms and cultural norms long ago.
Yeah.
ये जो आगे
In a way,
ये
it's art. What
ये
he's done.
आकाश नहीं है ये एक रेडियो टूटे हुए रेडियो की तरह
I just do it to annoy him.
भाई and also but the first 5 times it's one thing now he just says it every single time he sees him क्या पता but I'm also going to give it but yeah.
I feel like when I watched the Chicago 7 and some of the scenes actually really brings in a very fiery feel in you, like you kind of feel
that's
for
what you were lacking.
that generation that actually had to go through hell to like get very
Kevin,
less.
you don't need any more fire, man.
Yeah,
You're
Kevin.
on fire all
भाई
the
तुझे
time.
रोक के
You
तेरे
don't need
ऊपर
any
पानी
more fire.
फेंक के we get your small
Hey, it's a compliment, man.
बचा के रखते हैं but yeah
But yeah, I know Arnav's best category was best animation. Arnav, Soul won for that. You like animation movies? You should watch Soul. I think
Poor
Soul
guy.
कौन से soul की बात कर रहे हैं?
Abey, the one in you,
Oh.
the one that.
There's none in you or
It's,
none.
it's missing. That's the problem.
Okay, छोड़ दे फिर.
I cannot
You're
relate to
wrong.
any
Interesting.
animation movies. इसलिए.
But honestly, even the past Oscar movies, I doubt I've watched a lot of them. I
No,
very
La
few.
La Land.
Very few.
भाई last 10 years में they have become
Sad about
irrelevant
La La Land.
they have become
No, La La Land was
irrelevant
good, man. La La Land was decent.
same I've never saw it. It just seemed something I wouldn't like so I never
I
watched
thought it was
it
good. But I don't think it was
Jennifer
amazing.
Lawrence win for that
Silver Linings
was it
Playbook
Silver Lining Playbook? Oh,
I like that
The-
movie
I was also.
I like that
Anupam,
movie.
She didn't win
Anupam
for the
Kher
other
was in
one,
there.
right?
Anupam
That,
Kher was in there.
Arrow thing or whatever it is.
Mother.
No,
Hunger Games
Which one? Joy.
Hunger Games. I
Games.
hope she didn't win for that.
No,
no
Hunger
no
Games
no,
didn't
no
get
she won
nominated.
for Silver Linings
Yeah.
Playbook
Silver
Yeah,
Lining
she won
Playbook
for
was
Silver
ये
Linings.
amazing.
superhero
Which was
movies कभी
good.
nominate नहीं होती क्या ऑस्कर में? As not as best actor, but
No,
as a
cinematography,
best movie or something.
Their
movies में
villains,
नहीं.
their villains have won. Their villains have won Oscars.
makeup
That's
makeup
specifically
design
the
वगैरह में
Joker.
देते हैं यार see it's a
No,
very
but they should get for best movies also.
Visual effects.
Maybe not
they
best
won't ना
actor,
because
fair enough.
they won't ना they have to give it to the movie which is more like अभी जो Nomadland का वो है क्रिटिक ये था कि दे आर शोइंग कि हाउ अ वाइट वुमन कोरोना और इन सब टाइम में दे कैन गो फ्रॉम ट्रेलर टू ट्रेलर. तो उसका बड़ा स्टिंगिंग रिव्यू किया था कि इट शोज इज द एसेंस ऑफ वाइट प्रिविलेज, कि अगर आप वाइट हो, आपका सोशियो इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन मैटर नहीं करता है अमेरिका में, यू कैन गो फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस एंड इंटरेक्ट विद द कम्युनिटी. सो दे वर लाइक इफ शी हैपेंड टू बी एनी अदर रेस and if she was drifting around this way, how would her life and experiences have been? And it was very
She would be
ironic
meeting
that
the police.
she would be meeting with
Back
very
to the
different
point.
situation. But yeah,
To the point Arnav made for superhero movies, it's shocking that Avengers Endgame didn't even get like nominated,
Not
even a nomination
because
for like it's an achievement in movie history.
I don't think
for
people
sure, all
realize the
this
amount of
movies.
effort and all these things goes into
Yeah.
creating
They
these
do.
kind of movies.
that's why they don't give it now, because they get the money. They don't. This was Arna for 50 years. They
No, but
ruled
Amrit,
movie goes
Avatar
for 50
won.
plus years because it had
Avatar won best.
because it was because Avatar was a standoff, one alone thing. These are people
No,
who were
that's
the
just
and
it was just
Lord of
because
the
I feel James
again
Cameron, Lord of the Rings was
जेम्स कैमरून पिक्चर
but-
वो इनके तीन वो है. इन्होंने एक इंडस्ट्री बनाया है which goes against what these people are trying to preach. For 50-60 years the Hollywood Foreign Office and इनका जो Academy Awards का ये पूरा वो है, they decided what
yeah,
was
they hate
taste.
the Marvel movie.
कौन टेस्ट क्या है, ये this is kids movies, ये बकवास है. In last 15
All
साल
Martin
में
Scorsese has spoken out
Yeah.
against it.
Uh,
All these Quentin
who have become
Tarantino has spoken
irrelevant.
out.
मार्टिन स्कॉर्सेज़ी
Against
को
Marvel
हमारे
movies.
जैसे लोग चिल्लाएंगे, बोलेंगे डिपार्टेड देखा, ये देखा, वो देखा, सब बोलेंगे. His movies will never in his lifetime touch the heights of these movies. Why? Because everyone can watch these movies. Marvel movies are watched by
Yeah.
everyone. Everyone can watch them. Everyone gets entertained.
Because
And
I have noticed
But I feel it
It's
should
not
be recognized
positives and
at least.
negatives, I
that-
guess.
no,
I guess
it
it's
is.
not
But
positives
Kevin,
and negatives,
that's the
yeah.
thing, na. When one
It is
side
very
does
biased.
extreme, when one side does extreme, that's my problem. They don't even recognize them at all. They shit on it and act
Well,
like these movies don't exist.
They recognize
Because
Black
I feel-
Panther only because they were before the Oscars year before that. They were saying there was no black nominees at all for any category. Very little.
Yeah,
only
वो
category.
hashtag निकला था ना, Oscar so white.
Yeah, yeah.
And
After that, they
they
nominated
are
Black
Kevin.
Panther for that reason. I
They
feel.
have
Just for
they
that.
have controlled people's eyesights for the longest of time. Martin Scorsese जैसे लोग have been talking about the same Italian Irish families and their mafia for years and have made इतने पैसे. Suddenly, out of the blue, colorful looking people have appeared on the screen, and anybody and everyone can watch them, and they can decide. मुझे you can say whatever you want. Like this might be my. I enjoy watching with my family those Marvel movies a lot more. Like, मुझे बड़ा मजा आता है. I like going with
Any
my
day.
wife. I like going with
But
my wife. I can watch with my
It's
parents.
rewatchable. It's easy. It's
I also
easy to
feel
watch.
that like movies like say Judas and the Black Messiah, I don't think I would have seen it. I would have known about it if it wasn't for the
Kevin,
Oscar nominations.
Absolutely.
It has got its
100%.
positives
But
and negatives.
2 to 3 months later, it will appear on an OTT. It will appear on a different wo. And thirdly,
Yeah.
जब ये मूवीज स्नब होती हैं, जब ये इनके पास इतने साल तक ताकत है, इन्होंने इन मूवीज को पुश क्यों नहीं किया इससे पहले? हम ब्लैक मूवीज के बारे में सुनते क्यों नहीं थे? Why were they so niche? Because these people controlled it for so long. That's why I'm so happy that कि इनका है, because they made people and actors of their choice famous for years,
Correct.
based on a
Correct.
nomination
Absolutely.
and on a actress or wo. If you look at the past winners up to 2010 only, you will see all the questions and you will see all the answers of why it is so good कि इनका power टूटा है. अगर हम facts पे जाए,
They should
they
at
only
least be recognized.
yeah.
Not even win. I don't care about winning, but I'm sure Marvel doesn't care.
And
They're like, we want the money anyway.
ठीक है.
Like,
Oh,
screw that.
do you think one of those people is like हमें nomination नहीं मिला? That's what Robert Downey
No
Jr.
way.
did.
They'll
Yeah.
be like, screw it.
Robert Downey Jr. ने कहा था ना कि like ठीक है, it's fine.
He spoke
Yeah, when
on Howard Stern
about
that,
Martin Scorsese.
that why yeah how they asked Howard Stern asked him, aren't you offended kind of that the Oscars didn't nominate you? And he also said, yeah, it's very weird that the Oscars didn't recognize this performance and this movie at all for
But that's the thing, na,
Department visual
you can
effects,
imagine, right? वो
which
अपना
I don't even
institution को
want.
बचाने के लिए their image and people not non-approved by them, they're able to create this barrier. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it is falling. I think this image of Oscars, I think, going
Gone.
down in.
Arnav, ratings, they are not watched anymore.
Oh yeah,
They are not watched.
Wait, I'll tell you what. The Game Awards, which is for video game awards, had 86 million viewers on that.
Crunchyroll Anime Awards.
The Oscars didn't even make it anywhere near. I think they said 5 million viewers or something. The Oscars has declined so much.
भाई anime awards वगैरह में
Crazy.
people talking about the anime awards had more than 5 million views यार क्या बात कर रहे हो?
Oscar used to be the thing, I think, in early 2000s.
Used to be the-
but I think in past 10
used to be
years
the
it has.
No,
No,
before that also.
50 साल के लिए they were the ultimate. From 1950s वगैरह से they became the way you defined acting. Like हमारे Eastern standards पे we were forced to live to यार Oscar में nomination मिल जाए बस. जब लगान को nomination मिला था
Yeah.
बात ऐसी थी कि अब जाए बाहर में भाई.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
तुमने ऐसे डिसाइड करके
I
रखा है.
remember.
तुम that I dislike जब हम किसी एक चीज को इतना प्रायोरिटी दे कि अगर वो हमें acknowledgement ना दे तो हमारी लाइफ खत्म है. I think that's very wrong. आर्ट वही चीज है जो सब जिसको पसंद है. सिर्फ assume it's a movie which only Kevin likes. He has the right to enjoy that movie instead of feeling like यार तो बड़ी गंदी मूवी है उन्होंने मुझे अवार्ड नहीं दिया.
Yeah.
I feel that's very wrong. तुम किसी एक चीज को उतना
I remember initially India में था कि it used to be the thing, but now I realize कि even though Indian awards are rigged and वो सब होता है, but it's completely वो like वो तो
Public
anyways
decides. तुम्हें क्या देखना है? तुम
End of the day, public
Yes,
decides
Feroz
which
Khan.
movie works.
No. Feroz Khan का
Feroz
बेटा
Khan
क्या है? उसका नाम क्या है?
फरदीन खान.
Fardeen.
How do you remember his stats?
God, dude, no. This guy got like, I remember I watched like this pretentious movie reviews. This guy did like the shittiest movie ever. I mean,
Best
more
debut
pretentious
actor.
movie with This shows like, he got the best debut actor.
You
for
talked
that
about
movie.
this,
I'm like, I was like, what the hell,
Although
dude?
to
What
India.
is wrong with
But I'll
Indian
say
awards?
Oscars ka packages for inviting guests, because that's how these celebrities come, because they get huge, ridiculous packages, like holiday packages, latest technology
Wait,
and
what?
everything.
Oscar
That's how they.
pays them?
Yeah. This is the invite.
By the
Not pay,
event,
they buy products and sponsorships.
it's a
That's how India.
Arnav,
na,
it was an
we have to pay.
industry.
Yeah.
And
They
imagine.
are, that's how why they come.
मुझे
Even if they
बचपन में
don't
लगता
win,
कि
that's
सिर्फ
why they
Indian
come.
industry award industry is rigged. यहाँ पे
Bhai, we have learned from the capitalist
they
best.
They don't rig their awards. They say that, but they to invite people because they want the publicity, right? And you only get publicity for something like this by inviting all the big stars. So you give them gifts.
Arnav,
Come.
it was the
attendee
Hollywood
gets a
Foreign
gift.
Office and the press office. They selected movies. They themselves reviewed it. They themselves would talk about it and promote it. And they would get brands and these celebrities to stand there. And one way or the other acknowledgement milega, or you'll have such a good time there. And can you imagine some 200, 300 people controlling cinema viewers across the world because it was the most powerful country in the world, come biggest award. That's it. And everyone tried to ape them. And now OTTs have just destroyed it. That's why 10 years के लिए जब कोई Netflix movie किसी Sundance या कहीं पे होती थी, दिखाई जाती थी या कहीं पे भी दिखाते, they would boo it and they would not even recognize them. Boo करते थे, they would send people to वो. अब क्या हुआ but but people will watch it, right?
That's the beauty, right? Eventually, if people like or dislike anything, they will dictate the terms. No, it might take some time. It might take 10, 20 years, but it will eventually happen. I think that's the good part.
No, it's a good part in our era. Imagine if this was the 80s, it would mean nothing.
Obviously,
You would never find
era.
that. हमारे era का beauty एक ही है. In ICT का एक very blatant फायदा वो है. So yeah.
So staying on the topic of movies, let's talk about the Conjuring 3 trailer. Amrit and Kevin, big horror fans among us. What were your guys' opinions? Let's quickly talk about
भाई मस्त फट गई मेरी. मैं वाइफ को बुलाया एपिसोड हमारे ये रिकॉर्डिंग के 5 मिनट पहले. She was like कि मेरा हार्ट बीट इतना बर्बाद हो गया उसमें बिकॉज मैं देखो मुझे बचपन से हॉरर में मेरी हमेशा मस्त वाट लग जाती है. But I still like watching it repeatedly because I always thought that like all other things in life, if you don't go through the problem, nothing will happen. But this is the one thing where I have failed repeatedly. I am shit scared as usual. And trailer में भी यार मेरे लिए ना jump scares are my fear. If I know something is happening, मेरे मुझसे नहीं
the
होता.
word scene in the trailer when she runs in the woods and then it's like, oh, someone's watching.
भाई
and then,
wood छोड़ वो
That was expected though.
no,
Did you guys expect
yeah.
that to happen?
Kevin, that's the worst part. Even when you know it's
that's the
coming,
thing,
it
you
scares me.
expect it and you still get scared.
No, the trailer I watched उसमें वो एक बच्चा किसी बेड लाइक थिंग के ऊपर लेटा था और पीछे से एक
Yeah, and there's a hand.
हैंड ऐसे आ रहा है. भाई मुझसे नहीं
Yep.
होता ये सब.
The
मैं रात
water-
को I'm going to imagine that I go to sleep.
But
मेरे
it's the
साथ
first time मैं ज़्यादा देखी नहीं horror movies. I've seen only few of them, but कि they have added a crime aspect to the horror. का वो is it very
नहीं,
common?
these last 20 years में movies में बहुत
These-
है.
These three movies that now the third movie is coming out are actually based on real cases.
What?
So actual paranormal
Okay.
cases that have
Okay,
happened.
this is that.
Obviously, this is exaggerated,
this
and there's no proof that these
none
things
of those.
happened.
This is based on the
They have
this is based
they
on the
inspired
real
based on
account.
the story.
This couple actually existed,
Yeah,
and they have lots of case files.
Lorraine and Ed.
Yeah, and
Um,
इनका
Warren.
yeah, some family इनका
Yeah,
cases का
husband wife.
movie depiction है. So are they true cases? Yes, but according to whom? The people who said it is true cases. So
So only that उन ये
Exactly.
सारे cases उन couple के पास थे and people.
हाँ,
Yeah, and they have a lot of
So
cases.
then
of
that
paranormal
okay
cases.
can be.
But obviously,
fishy
the
also.
law
Amrit,
has
maybe
said
tonight,
that.
Amrit, maybe tonight might be the day when you should say all the prayers you have learned in your childhood.
मैं 10 साल से जो चीजें मैंने जो 10 साल से चीजें नहीं कही ना मैं अपनी कहने वाला.
The Conjuring movies have been pretty good in general.
Yeah, in general they have been
Two of
better.
them.
Yeah,
They've been pretty good.
क्योंकि horror movies are very hard to.
Surprisingly good.
Hmm.
Yeah, nailed
Akash,
No,
you
it.
and
should
they
watch
are a
Entity
franchise.
again.
They're a
Like,
good
isn't that your
franchise, in my
favorite
opinion.
movie?
They're good.
Akash,
franchise.
isn't
Insidious
Entity the
was
best?
started off, and
Akash,
Entity was good as well.
Mm.
But
What's your favorite horror movie, Arnav?
You know, I think we watched at Purdue. I don't know, Orphanage or something. हाँ देखी
Orphan,
थी।
Orphan.
The Orphan. It's on Netflix. You can watch
I
it again.
think
The
that
Orphan.
movie.
But I don't know if that's a horror.
Yeah,
But I
I
felt
like
don't
more-
know.
I feel
But
that's
I
much more
found,
scary.
I found her very scary though. I got
Yeah,
scared.
it was very
So-
creepy for me. Like I for
I
the
feel
first
like
time,
thriller
it moved
type.
me.
Maybe.
You know,
It
kids
isn't-
are very
Yeah.
creepy in general. Kids
But she wasn't a
related,
kid. We found out. I ruined it for the
kids
audience.
related
Yeah, that-
horror movies.
But because मुझे end में जो climax था and I was like, oh damn, I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
twist
I didn't
as well.
expect it. Exactly.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
think
oh,
that was.
But
But yeah, you're right. It
especially-
might not be horror. genre.
especially that scene when they reveal it. No, oh bhai,
And she's trying to romance
the
the
father.
the father.
Oh God.
It's very creepy.
But even Hush, there was a movie Hush or no?
Hush.
I think
Oh,
even
yeah.
Kevin watched. it.
Yeah, even
Hush
Hush
was
is
good.
good. Yeah.
I rate that very high as well. Because again,
That was a good
Akash, the spirits and things like that, ghosts and all, don't scare me. But like a
Oh, I
movie
find
like
it the opposite.
Hush is very scary because I feel someone like that, like a stalker or like someone is really wanting to just kill you for no goddamn reason,
I think it's
is much
same.
more scary to me.
मेरा भी same है because it's more realistic. It can actually happen. I think I get scared of more things more than some paranormal activity, which is.
No, for me it's the opposite. I get more scared of the paranormal activity shit. Not because I believe in it or anything. It's just that it's unexplained events. Like something I don't understand.
मेरे लिए I think, and it's very background and वो based. मेरे लिए any sort of movie in which it's an attacker is a once it's identified as an attacker, it's a joke.
I think.
Yeah,
for me,
same
if
for
I
me as
I'm
if I
sure-
can't control it, I am gone.
Yeah, I just think in my mind, it's a normal man. Okay, somehow we'll stop him. For something I can't see or understand, doing something that is more
I'm
scary to
gone
me.
completely. Like हवा वो कोई दरवाजा फूट रहा है वैसे yeah, unexplained noises, voices, and if something emerges from under
that
the
feels
bed,
more scary.
I'm gone.
मुझे मूवी के टाइम पे डर लगता है no doubt because that sounds and all those
हाँ,
things I freak out even paranormal all those things but like afterwards I'm not scared of paranormal stuff I'm scared of as Kevin mentioned he's some stalker या some कुछ crime yeah I'm scared of those things more in real life.
No, so there was a movie
for
called
example,
The Boy.
Hotel
Cecil.
or Cecil. Yeah.
Cecil.
Cecil. That is
Yeah,
that
had
is
a
going to be
presidential
more
suit as
scary
well.
to me. Like I'm just thinking if I'm staying
I
in
have
that
to watch it I
hotel,
haven't seen it yet yeah I've heard good
Interesting है
reviews.
enough. Interesting है.
very interesting. Worth
That
the watch.
documentary I have to watch. As well.
Also, I recommend the Ripper. That's a very good series.
Hmm.
Right
Oh,
now
British
I'm not
वाला
watching
ना?
any
Jack the
of
Ripper.
these movies or these
It's from Jack the Ripper.
documentaries
You're going to or not going to?
not going to.
Not going to. He's too scared to do it.
No, even
But,
no, another one that I
I
recommend
don't
in the
blame
same
you.
genre, if you ever do watch it, is the Ted Bundy wala series. Bhi. That is also.
I mean, वो
Ted
कह रहे
Bundy
That I have
is
seen.
most-
अच्छा मुझे वो कह रहे बेचारा कह रहे नहीं देखनी और Arnav, you can watch something called Shadow and Bone. वो it's a fantasy series
Arnav,
about
there's a good one
magic.
as well.
मैजिक के ऊपर है.
Arnav, there's a good one. It's called Shh Koi Hai. It was not a bad series, honestly.
Oh,
I've seen some episodes.
have you seen Ahat?
Ahat, yeah.
Ahat was the first one.
Ahat.
Yesh koi hai so baad mein aaya tha. Ahat was the first original. Wow.
No, before that, I thought it was like Z horror show that used to scare the shit out of me. As a
Oh,
kid.
I mean, I don't know about that. No. Ahat mujhe
Ahat is Sony पे आता था, if I'm not wrong.
Ahat, but I was gonna say, there, like back to Amrit's point that the unexplained. There was one movie called The Boy, and it was about this couple who had this doll, and they had to take care of it. If they didn't take care of it, bad things happened. So they hired this babysitter. They told the babysitter to take care of it, and they left, and they didn't come back. They left the babysitter stuck with the boy, this doll boy. And so it was like a bit scary. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and then it's scary. Then I found out that it was just a hairy man moving this doll around. I'm like, this is bullshit, man. I was
Oh,
like, what
that was the movie?
naked, half
Another thing
naked
that's
man.
messed up.
Yeah.
Anil
I was like,
Kapoor.
I
this
hate
half
dolls,
naked man
man.
is going into rooms and moving. I was like, what rubbish is this, man?
So where was the man hiding?
He was hiding within the walls of the
और उसकी एज क्या
house.
थी?
He was old. He was like a proper like 30-year-old or something. They don't say the age, but he looked like a proper.
तो उसका कोई इश्यू था
And he
कि
thought
वो
he was a boy. He thought he was the boy in that thing, but it still didn't. When I found out that was happening, I was like, this is bullshit.
वो
Sounds scary.
दीवार से बाहर निकाल के 4 थप्पड़ मारो उसके.
That's what I felt. But anyway,
And you know why I
We'll
say that?
end-
I watched the first 15-20 minutes of that movie and turned it off. फट गई थी मेरी.
no, the ending of it, you would be like, "Kya rubbish, yeah." I watched it in cinema. But anyway, we'll end this episode of the podcast right here. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. As usual, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and also on YouTube. Give us a follow at Vele Pod as well on Instagram, and leave a review and rating if you liked the show. If you didn't, well, give us a review and tell us what you didn't like as well. Until the
Don't
next
hurt
episode,
Akash's feelings.
take care and wear a mask. Bye.